questions for you, and here we
Sure.
go. Hello and welcome to another We Interview video here on Gaming Trend. My name is Adam Moreno, and I'm joined today by our editor-in-chief from Gaming Trend, Ron Burke.
Hey, that's me.
Today we have a chance to talk to the Zach Sharpe at Stern Pinball. We like to call him Razor Sharpe. Stern Pinball makes some amazing pinball machines, on some of the most amazing machines on the market, including Star Wars, Marvel, Foo Fighters. Very nice to meet you. Zach, can you tell us a little bit about yourself real quick?
Sure. I am Zach Sharpe, Director of Marketing for Stern Pinball. We make the most fun products on the planet. So if you haven't played pinball, go out and play. If you have played pinball, enjoy our latest.
Hey, well, that leads directly into my first question. For a recreational player like me, and for our audience who may be introduced to you guys through this video, what sets Stern apart in the pinball world?
Sure. So in terms of pinball manufacturing, we own probably 90% of the market. So if you stumble on a pinball machine in the wild anywhere in the world, more often than not, it's going to be a Stern pinball machine. So we are just the biggest producer with the biggest IPs imaginable.
That's a great thing to be able to say. Like we're just, if you see a pinball machine, it's probably us.
Yeah, I mean, not to use the joke from this game that we're going to talk about, but you're going to need a bigger game room. You're going to need a bigger location with all the Stern pinball machines you can put out there.
That's awesome.
And one of our editors has the fortune of having a small arcade a small arcade in his basement, including several of your pinball tables. So I know he's excited.
Oh, nice.
Well, I have I have the honor of the second question, and it's going to be a tough one. Other than the one that's right behind you, other than the ones we're going to talk about today, what is your favorite pinball machine of all time, and what makes you keep coming back to it?
Ooh, is it okay if I do a two-part answer?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, so one is a little biased, but my father, Roger Sharpe, he was a game designer back in the day, and he made this game called Cyclops. There was only 400 of them ever made. I own one, my brother owns one, my father owns one, so we almost have, the math on that? 1% of the world quantity of that. I love that game for obvious reasons. It's a fun game, but also because my dad designed it. That game will never leave my collection. So that's kind of like my sentimental favorite. In terms of my current favorite, I would probably have to say Godzilla.
Okay, what keeps you coming back to Godzilla?
Funny enough, the lead game designer, his name's Keith Elwin. He's arguably the best competitive pinball player of all time, but he is also arguably the best game designer in the market. He designed not only Jaws, but he designed Godzilla, Jurassic Park, Iron Maiden, and with Godzilla, the mechanisms are just real unique. I mean, you're transported into this chaotic Tokyo with a building that crumbles. You got an interactive Mecha Godzilla. You're just immersed in the campiness of the film. Yeah, I mean, I just keep getting drawn back to it. I mean, how can you not
He's got the supple wrists then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's the pinball wizard.
He is Tommy.
Awesome. That actually runs into my next question. And I've played pinball since I was a kid, and I'm old. so yeah, I've played pinball for a long time, not quite back to when prohibition was the order of the day for pinball machines, but a minute or two. And I've got to say there's really complex pinball machines out there that are not fun to play, and then there are really simple machines that are just a blast. So what is it in your mind that keeps people coming back to pinball? What is it that makes a good pinball machine?
I mean, there's like a couple sayings, pinball, it's easy to learn, difficult to master. So just you're battling physics. So as balls are, traveling all over the play field, you're going to defy gravity, and gravity will always win. So pinball at its core is you're not only immersed in this world under glass, you're trying to top your previous, best score, and it just kind of keeps you coming back. You can't quite beat a pinball machine.
Yeah,
So,
it's designed. You're designed to lose.
yeah, you're designed to lose, but at the end of the day, you're winning because you're having fun, right? So
Right.
I like to say you're always winning at pinball. But you can always get a high score. So even if you get to the end wizard mode, you could play that again and get 1 point higher. So it's kind of like infinite what the score you can get. You could always get a new grand champion versus if you beat Pac-Man or Super Mario Brothers, like that's it. When the game's done, you're done, you put the cartridge away. But with a bat and ball game, it's kind of like golf. You can always get a better score, or you have a good shot that kind of brings you back. So pinball just inherently is it's not replicable, that form of tactile immersion that you get. And what's really cool is with each theme that you're playing, you're really transported. I mean, I was kind of talking about Godzilla, but now, moving over to Jaws, you're Quint. You are battling and searching for sharks. You're gonna get surprised as a shark pops up from under the playfield. You're gonna hit the chum bucket, throw blood in the water as there's this cool LED effect of blood kind of in the water as a shark fin is swimming across the playfield. So you're going to feel like you're on the orca trying to hunt the great white. So again, each game has its own personality, its own feel, and it's almost like the perfect hybrid of a video game with a pinball machine.
Yeah, one of my
That's
favorite tables of all time is Rush. You guys make that. So my favorite band of all time. And I love how that table, even when you start playing, I mean, you can see the elements. You've got that central element, which is like it's the portal, right? For
Yeah,
jumping between times, right?
the time machine.
And
Yep.
yeah, the time machine, that's what I'm looking for. And if you just play, you're probably not even going to hit that your first couple of times, right? I mean, you've got to activate it. Certain things have to pop up to make that happen. And that's really the part that entices me to play that game is I want to jump through time, and I want to experience Rush's catalog through time. And to do that, I've got to get good at this game. So how does that tie into Jaws? Is it similar? Like, you've got like elements that you have to do to kind of bring out the shark, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I mean, every game has a different, feel and rule set, which keeps things, fresh and interesting. Because if it was the same meal every time, then it would get kind of boring and stale.
Sure.
So, with Jaws, I mean, there's different elements. So, whether it's trying to lure the shark out by hitting the chum bucket, putting blood in the water, and hitting the fin, that makes progress towards Jaws multi-ball. If you're bashing on the captive ball, on the fishing boat, and that pops up the great white bash toy, that's going to lead you towards shark encounter modes. There's the fish finder targets, which has other features and modes. There's the orca upper playfield on the premium and limited edition model, and that unlocks other features. So again, every game kind of has its different paths. There's stuff that's kind of close to the start button where you're able to get that multi-ball early on, but there's a lot of stuff deep in the game, so a lot of depth, for no pun intended with a water thing, but for players that play longer, better. We give it to all audiences.
That's awesome. As a fan of John Williams myself, were you guys able to implement all the themes from the movies into this pinball machine?
That's a great segue. So yeah, I mean, this is the Jaws game. If you're a Jaws fan and a fan of pinball, I mean, this is the Jaws game that you've always wanted. It's got all of the film clips. It's got the audio. It's got custom speech from Richard Dreyfuss. And of course, the iconic John Williams Jaws theme and Man Against Beast song. So if you don't feel like you're on Amity Island playing this game, then I don't know what to tell you.
That's so exciting. I love themes, and I love that with everything that I got to see from you guys. I saw Foo Fighters, which my favorite band. As you can see, a huge Star Wars fan. So seeing all of the
Wait,
different ways
what?
that,
This is news to me. This is news
oh
to
my
me,
gosh,
Adam. You like
mind
Star
blown,
Wars?
just a little bit. But I really love that you guys fully commit, and it seems like you do a lot of like put a lot of time and research into the full thought of having, you know, the blood in the water to make the shark come out. How long those meetings where you guys are coming up with these ideas, they have to take a long time. Is there something that was like a funny moment for Jaws where you guys were like, oh my gosh, we have to have this?
Yeah, I mean, again, from a game when we have the theme to when we produce it and put it into a box, it's like a 16 to 18 month, long development cycle.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's tough to just pinpoint one funny moment.
Yeah.
And I'm just the marketing guy. I'm not the
Over a year and a
designer.
half.
So I'm sure they have funny stories behind the scenes of what they were doing with the shark and how they want to,
That's awesome.
to interact. But I
Yeah.
mean, just that whole thought and design approach of, throwing chum in the water. I mean,
Yeah.
I love that. And then I think a funny kind of nod to that is with our Insider Connected platform, which is kind of like Xbox Live, but for pinball, if you're a gamer, but you're going to earn in-game achievements, and you're a bounty hunter. So you're playing as Quint and you're going to, kind of rise up the ranks. But in a future twists, you're going to be able to get connected and play as the shark. So that's a fun little thing where you're going to be able to terrorize beachgoers if you, log in with your Insider Connected account. So
That's gonna be so exciting.
stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I hope I'm not spoiling anything, Zach, but Quint doesn't have a great ending to his story. I'm just saying that there might be some there might be some problems with the end of his story.
You never know. You never know how things will unfold, but yeah.
Well, you're always winning and losing at pinball
That's
apparently,
true.
so it might work.
Parallel of life.
Okay, so we just have one more question for you, and this one is something that you can your entire career, span your entire career here. One question we ask every guest that we have on this show is, what is one happy memory in your time working in your industry that will always stay with you as like at the end of time, this was a happy moment of my career?
That's a tough question because I have a unique background where I've been around pinball my entire life. So a lot of people, they get introduced to pinball later in life, whether they stumble upon it at an arcade, a pizza shop. So I would say for me, probably when I got the job offer from Stern Pinball, where I was able to marry two passions of mine, which is, marketing and pinball. So I am living the dream of bringing pinball to the world versus it just being a passion project.
Yeah,
It is my day job. So if I had
that's
to
the dream.
one thing, the dream was when I got the offer to work for Stern Pinball.
That's
That's so
outstanding.
amazing. That's so amazing. Hey, Zach, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to discuss about the upcoming Jaws cabinet? Where can people find you? When is this coming out? Give us all those lovely fun details.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll be announcing this, and I don't know when this is going to air, but we're announcing and showing it to the world at CES. So if you're at the show, definitely come to our booth. We'll have, several Jaws games for people to play. I like to always say, the team knocked it out of the park. With this game, they blew it out of the water. Sorry for my dad joke. But I mean, you're gonna love this game if you're a fan of pinball, if you're a fan of Jaws. Where to find to play it? Make an Insider Connected account. We've got an app now. So if you download it for free, there's a locator. So once these games are popping out on location, just like a sonar, you're tracking sharks, you can track where Jaws and other Stern pinball machines are at locations all over the world.
That's awesome. Ron, you got anything left?
No, thank you very much for taking the time. I sincerely appreciate it. And congratulations on such an awesome property. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I'm looking forward to playing it.
Nope, happy flipping.
Thank you so very much. It's been great having you on our We Interview series. We appreciate your time and have a great holiday season.